What up, Pittsburgh Steelers fans? Matty P, Marky D. How are you doing, mate? It's good to see ya. It's good to be back. Good to be back with the family. No more interruptions now for the rest of the season. It's go time.
I'm busy, mate. I know you're busy too, coming back from your honeymoon and whatnot, but I just feel like I'm running around circles. I really do. I was playing pickleball last few days. I don't know, dude. Is there a game this week? I don't even know. It's been that much going on. Steeler news too has been a lot going on. I don't know if you heard about the Mojo talk and how Mike Tomlin fooled the media, and the media got really upset, and they were almost.
I don't know. Like, I found that kind of weird. Like,
the media got butthurt, dude. They were so upset. They got called. They got played, and they were like, "Oh, you can't." Tomlin's lying. And as fans were like, "So you lie all the time. Media lies all the time." So that happened. There was a fake promotion. There was so much just crap, just so much crap on the internet, which no real Steelers talk was happening around the internet, really, And of course, we got the big news of our mate coming back, the Aussie mate,
Brad Wing. I know it's kind of wild. I mean, we were talking about it off air for a little while, which is why we're a little bit slow to get started. And we talked about the Bahamas link, and then, but you know what I reckon it is? Because they had you raised a question with me off air of Braden Mann and saying why didn't they bring back Braden Mann? He was on the practice squad. They used him in preseason. Like, it seems odd that they wouldn't use him, during to bring him in now in the season. But Brad Wing said something besides the fact that, and it was funny because they said, you've been living here. Because the first thought I had when I saw it on Thursday, Friday, whatever it was, when I was in another country was, is it because he's living in Pittsburgh? But then he mentioned he's got a son in Baton Rouge. Then you look at the Bahamas link and the Heinz Ward Steelers link, obviously. And then, but he said something in his interview that I thought was interesting. And that was about the rule changes in the XFL meant you had to have really good hang time. Well, what's Presley Harvin done to start the season? His hang time, I mean, it was pretty good last year, but it's been really good. We saw that last week. I wonder if that's come into the mix at all. But I don't know. It's kind of wild. And you said it best off air. As Aussies, we don't really want to talk about the punter. There's plenty of other guys playing actual positions in the NFL.
Yes. It's not, to me, it's not. I don't dislike or hate Brad Wing. I hate how the media portrays him in Australia. Because if he sticks on the team the whole season and we go Super Bowl, who are we talking about? Brad Wing.
He is the only Australian to throw a touchdown in the NFL.
Yeah, but he's also lost his accent. Yeah, he's got no accent. So I just can't believe he's back after 6 years. Like, if he was here for a year, then he went to the Giants, and here we are talking about punters. And Presley Harvin was doing really well too. I know you've been away watching the game too, but he's been punting really well.
No, he had a great game last week. I was able to watch the game. I stuck on the good old VPN and I watched the game. Annoying that the VPN doesn't let me with college football, but yeah, I watched the VPN. So I actually got to watch it. Yeah, it was nice. Got to just sit there and enjoy it, actually. But it was very early for me because I was a 2 or 3 hour time difference for Australia. So the game kicked off at 1 a.m. So that wasn't fun.
Oh, boy.
Oh, wait. No. I lie. I thought it was going to kick off. That's right. I thought it was going to kick off at 1. So I got prepped for that. And then it actually didn't. So I thought it was going to kick off at 7, which was good because it's like I've got an hour to the Singapore Zoo where we're doing some animal photography because many people might not know, but I do a lot of animal photography with my wife. I'd say wife now, not fiance, but wife outside of these. But we do a lot of that anyway. So I thought I was on the way. I get to watch for an hour as we drive out to the safari park and the zoo and stuff. And then it was like at 8. So then I had the game. It was funny. I was taking photos and stuff as I was watching the game as well. So I had it next to each other, set up on my camera. So it was cool. As I said on the video, I got just before Benton got his first sack, which I was happy about because I've been on the Benton train. I was taking photos of a lion and I watched the lion roar and then Benton roared on the field. So that was really, really cool. But so pretty in tune with the game and everything that happened. And I rewatched some of it, but getting back to the Brad Wing stuff, kind of a crazy week there. I saw some interviews with Patrick Peterson as well this week. He seems to be a bit more on the ball. But I mean, I want to rewind to last week as well, because Mike Tomlin talked about a lot on the Tomlin show that's come out overnight while we've been asleep. The Calvin Austin touchdown. because I wasn't able to catch anything you did. I was so happy to see that touchdown, man. Down the center of the field, a deep pass, game changer. Like I just, that's what we got to see out of this offense, and we got to see it in week 2. That's why I'm bringing it up. We got to see this against Houston as well.
But what else happened too was the block, and Kenny Pickett stepped up into the pocket. Warren came in to block, and it was kind of like the first 2 drives lulled you to sleep, and you're like just shocked and surprised. You saw a massive pass for 92 yards. You're like, holy dooly, man. So it was crazy. So, and that's what he can do. That's what Austin can do. Just he can. It was reminding me of a play in Madden that I use. It's like the 4 verts or like verticals.
Yeah.
And I just try and beat the linebacker. If you beat the linebacker, you win because the other safeties play the outside, and you just go right down the middle. That's what it reminded me of. The exact same. But it has been a pretty crazy week because Tomlin's been playing with the media. There were fake reports about the Jordan Schultz, Canada getting a promotion. Then other YouTube channels out there called it a promotion, which it wasn't a promotion. It was just a fake tweet. So Steel Nation went crazy about that. They're like, how can Canada be promoted? This, and this, but he didn't. He's just getting a more role. Then Tomlin pretty much denied that and said,
but also that I find that stupid too. Canada's getting more of a role. Canada's the offensive coordinator. Like, apart from coaching the defense, he should have whatever say he wants. Just because they expand what they're asking of him, that's like your boss saying, let's say you work in a cafe and your boss says, from now on, I want you to, and you've only been serving tables. Now, from now on, if there's no one free, you've got to man the till.
But you do it anyway because yeah. I think I found it funny. I was listening to a podcast. I don't know which one it was. Somewhere on the internet, and one of the blokes said that was like, how can he even get a promotion anyway? And they also said that the guy who did the report who is he? Who was Jordan Schultz? No one knows who he is. He's not even connected to the team. So one bloke just made up this tweet and said, "Oh, he's getting a more role." Sent the internet crazy. By the way, went absolutely nuts. And then next minute, we're trying to figure out what it all meant. And then Mike Tomlinson didn't mean anything. So it has been a weird, I think, in the sense of a weird media week from all the other games. We've been talking about football, but we've been doing a lot of, I think, trying to figure out what the media is saying.
Do you know what else was weird too? Is being away from it and trying to follow the news. Like, you think about this. I go from the win on Monday, right? And then I go to a couple of days where it's all the usual stuff out of a game, but nothing major. Then suddenly Brad Wings with the Steelers. Like when I looked at it and I saw it like really early in the morning in Singapore time, I'm like looking at it going, nah, this is someone's pranking me. Like I'm not reading this right. Like I'm like kind of rubbing my eyes. It's like, no, dated this date. I'm like, has Teresa, whatever her name is, who's on the
Teresa Varley.
Steel updates, Teresa, yeah. I'm like, has she accidentally uploaded the wrong file? So that just kind of summed up like a bit of what the weird week it was. But yeah, no, I watched some college over there as well, so it was good. But yeah, getting back to Steelers, like it was interesting. I want to talk about in the game. I heard Tomlin talk about it too. Obviously, we saw Austin, Pickens, Freiermuth stepping up. Finally, they've got Freiermuth back involved after everything.
You see that TD? That was a beautiful TD. That's my favorite.
Mate, that was quite a classic Madden play too. Streak out to the same streak.
It's so good. I love that TD. That's my favorite so far.
But Tomlin talked about them getting used to playing without Deontay and Cam Hayward. Like, I can't put it better than the coach. That's just
they're
what
doing
it
good.
Like. Guys were stepping up. Leal, Benton, it looked good. Then the wide receivers, it looked good with Austin Pickens.
I've been going back and forth with Noah. Noah's a good bloke, but I've been going back and forth with him.
I hate it, Gavin. Like I find it really the thing that annoys me, and we'll get there with the injury report pretty shortly in the show. I'm sick of all the billion, and anyone that watched us from BTSC last year before we were separated out on our own, it frustrates me to no end the injury reports. Like they officially have to have an injury report. You have to officially say if someone has an injury, and then you've got questionable, out or in, and then there's the random dash. I freaking hate that. Anyway, I'm getting that off my chest now. So when we go to the injury report,
you know what though? You said with the Deontay and Cameron Hayward though, right? You know the Steelers are I think now 13-2 without Hayward. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people say they talk about like Mike Tomlin sucks, this guy sucks, but like they never give him praise for certain things like that. Or Deontay being
think
out
about
too.
that too. Who's stepping in for him? Loudermilk, Leal, and Benton. Guys all in the first 3 years of their deal. Now, then people talk about Ogunjobi. Yeah, but he's the defensive end. He's the other side. He's there whether Hayward's there or not, right? And then people talk about Fehoko. Fehoko was... I found it odd, actually. Well, no, I found it funny how many people out there in Steelers social media were like, put Fehoko on suddenly the last week before he got elevated from the practice squad. I'm like, he's on the practice squad. You can't elevate. Like, they're going young guys. And it was interesting again in the comparison.
They pulled him up last week, I think, but they didn't play him. They didn't put a hat on him, I think.
Yeah.
Something
I
like
don't
that.
think I saw him on the field, but I mean, it was
he might be playing this week. I'm not too sure what's going to happen with
I could imagine so with the run game for Damon Pierce and the Houston Texans. But I found it interesting, though, that like Tomlin compared them to Houston. Houston are a very young team, but so are the Steelers.
Yep.
But the Steelers never get the Steelers aren't getting and it's not the attitude they want, but the Steelers aren't getting the whole, well, they're a young team trying to improve. There's no allowances for that. And that's the way we want it. Don't get me wrong. But when as the smallest pitfall on the performance of the team, everyone has this big freak out. And it's like, can we take a chill pill? Can we just...
well, we can't. We're overaction still in Asian land, right? I got a question for you. Do you think this game, and I tell you what, man, do you think this game is a trap game? That's what I've heard too.
I'm a bit like Mike Tomlin in that I can't believe I'm comparing myself to Mike Tomlin. Like the NFL is the NFL. You've got to win every game. Like you've got to be happy with a win, but you can't overreact in a loss. So for me, I'm like, how is it a trap game? You're 3-1. You're playing away to a team that's on the up, and the team that played very well with a very inexperienced offensive line last week. It's not a trap game because Kenny Pickett should go out and wipe the towel with CJ Stroud. I mean, I wanted to talk about CJ Stroud as well because he's actually done well with no interceptions through 3 games. Mm-hmm. He also has been sacked 11 times, so that's big task for the Houston Texans to keep him upright. But he's only got 4 TDs. So this is a Kenny Pickett. If Kenny Pickett can walk away, I want to get into this stuff in the second half of the show, but let's go with it. Like Kenny Pickett can walk away with like 280 yards, even 260 yards if we get over 150 on the ground, but 280 yards, 2 TDs, no interceptions. That should win them the game. And let's just stack wins. Mm-hmm. Like let's fix stuff in the bye, but let's just stack wins. But this could be a 3-touchdown, 300-yard game. But go back to CJ Stroud for a sec, and it tells you where we don't want to be as the Steelers. CJ Stroud is averaging 40 passes per game, making 26 of them. So he's doing pretty well in terms of what he's making in that, right? That's a 67% or whatever completion rate, which is great. Or 65%, I think it is. Yep. That's great. Yeah, it's 65% exactly, which is fantastic. But we don't want Kenny Pickett throwing the ball 40 times a game. We want Kenny Pickett throwing the ball 35 times per game. Unless the Steelers, you can throw it 40 times if the Steelers have like 35 minutes plus possession or probably more like 38 minutes plus possession, which we've seen when the opposite happened for the Steelers where they've had like 22 minutes per possession to start the season. So I just think with that, people sit there and call it. And the reason why I'm answering that in terms of your question about being a trap game is I think people are assuming the Steelers are going to go out there and throttle the Houston Texans. They're a really good team and they're coached by a really good coach.
But the thing is, too, we're not a good team anymore. Like, we're trying to be good. It's not like the old days where we had, like, AB in like, 2017. So I've heard this in the narrative, the idea of a trap game. And I'm like, we're not a good team just yet. We're trying to be good. Well, we're getting good. We're not like the old days where it was like, if you're versing the Jets at home, they're 0-8. There is no term about a trap game at all. They and I know we're the favorite in this game, but I still think we should be the underdog in this game, too. There's no identity on this team just yet. You do a big play with Calvin Austin. Next minute, you run 3 halfback dives. They go 2 yards. So I think we can win this game, but I don't think it's a trap game at all.
I agree, Sean. What I more mean is that Pickett has to outperform what Stroud does because, and the reason I say that is because the Steelers defense is well capable of taking care of Stroud, but we can't put the defense on the field the amount of times we put them on the field as we did 49ers Browns. It's got to be like against the Raiders where the offense is there, letting itself hum and not putting too much pressure on the defense. Because this defense needs to just go eat, like it's to use a Mike Tomlin phrase. So
I reckon they will too, by the way. You know what? TJ Watt's playing tremendous football. He's playing next level football.
Mate, it's alien stuff.
It might be his best year, I think.
And how pumped. I know they've probably tried to do it nicely because it's the Watt brothers. I think it's a mistake to do the celebration for JJ in the stadium. I like with TJ there. I think that's a bad idea, man. That is not a good idea. I would not be doing that. No.
You know what? I was going to talk about this on Steel Oz legit like after this show or what? Because I was going to say this is a huge mistake. Huge mistake. No one cares. No one cares. The Texans don't care about Watt. Do you know who cares about Watt? TJ Watt. He cares about his brother. That's going to fire him up, and he's going to get 3 sacks.
Yeah.
If you see your brother go up there and get all this the Hall of Honor stuff, all this crazy stuff, like I'm the best, you're going to go, man, I'm so proud of my brother, and also I'm proud of me. I'm going to go out there and kick tail. I thought I was like the only one had that same.
No. Especially when Tomlin said he wouldn't care, he's a serial killer. I'm like, look, Tomlin, you know TJ better than I do, a million times better than I do. But I know enough from listening to TJ, right? That TJ is going to see that, and the blue. And Mike Tomlin calls it the blueprint. But like TJ, has always said that his brother had the better career. If he could get 100 sacks, that'd be great. I mean, if he broke the sack record this year, he'd get over 100 sacks. Can you believe that? Like TJ Watt in 7 years, 100 sacks. Like he is capable. Like he's averaging now more than 12 sacks per season. 12 sacks, that's your average per season in the NFL.
Yeah, but the JJ Watt stuff is not really going to fire up the Texans because some of the guys on the Texans team probably don't even have that much connection to JJ Watt, whereas TJ Watt does. So if TJ Watt comes out and does 3 or 4 sacks, that's going to be the reason why.
Do you know the other thing that I was thinking too is that's interesting with Highsmith and TJ, and it got me thinking with the Texans. I really liked Cushing and Arakpo as well. But I really thought Brian Cushing was. Is it Brian Cushing?
He was good.
Brian Cushing. He was a nutter, right? Absolute nutter before he did it. I think it's his shoulder that gave way, and then he had a knee injury or something.
He played like 11 years, didn't he, or 10 years? Let me see.
Yeah, something like that. 9 to 11 years. But I was thinking the first half of TJ's career at the Steelers, TJ didn't have a Brian Cushing, a Brian Arakpo to support him. And now he has Highsmith. And if you see the year that I think there was a year where Cushing got something like 9 or 11 sacks, and that was when JJ got got 20 plus sacks. And a lot of people say, well, if you've got one pass rusher, they can go out there and eat. They can get all the blitz plays. They can have the packages designed for them. But that was a great example, I think, that the Steelers have built from we've always had great rushing, so the Steelers built off their own history. But I think it's nice for TJ that he's got supporting cast with Highsmith now and even Herbie coming off the bench because it allows him to do what he does. It's just interesting that parallel to JJ and what he had and how he got so many sacks and was able to build a Hall of Fame career despite him never getting out.
So how many years has TJ Watt been in the league? Like 7?
7. This is his 7th.
Right. So in 12 years, JJ Watt got 114. So in 7 years, he's already on 85 sacks. Is that right?
He's got 84 and a half. He's 84 and a half.
He might crack 100 this year.
That's what I'm saying. If he gets near this, if he gets 20 sacks, I think obviously if he got 21 and a half sacks at the start of the year or whatever, and he's already got what was it 8? It's 8 sacks.
He's on 80. He's on 6 so far this year. 83 and a half this year as well. He's cracked Debo's record, by the way. Shout out to that. But
so if he gets the sack record this year with 23, he will break 100. Yeah.
Yeah, he's at 16 and a half to 16 and a half to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. That'd be insane, dude.
Yep.
Imagine versus the Bengals on Christmas night or whatnot near that place. Like They made a big mistake because I was going to talk about that too. Like you're celebrating JJ Watt, but you're also celebrating the family and what? And it's like stupid. I don't know. And then also the rookie too. Tomlin's record against a rookie is not Tomlin. Since 2000, the Steelers are 30-5. Since 2000, the year 2000 when it was like Y2K, they're 30-5 against rookies. Mate, this game is going to be fun. I know it's going to be tough too, but it's going to be fun.
And this is okay. So everyone talks about the pressure on Matt Canada. I'm going to flick it back to my favorite person who I look back and I look back on the show we did a couple weeks ago who I called a sneaky criminal in Terrell Austin. Terrell Austin has to have a big game. Terrell Austin has to have a big game in the plays he calls because this Steelers defensive unit, but particularly the secondary and defensive backs should eat. Like Levi Wallace was terrific last week. This should be a better matchup because Garoppolo he's had a rough start to this season, but Garoppolo doesn't throw the ball away. He's actually, that's what he's made his career on. He's not making mistakes.
Yeah. Well, he was the one that didn't get sacked last week, didn't he? And then we got him like 4 or 5 times. So
yeah,
fantastic.
100%. Running to the game, no sacks.
And it should have been the one. The Minka one was the worst call ever. Like,
oh my gosh, I just yeah.
That is the refs calling. That is refs calling Vegas, or Vegas calling the refs saying, "Hey, can you give him a chance?" Yeah, okay. Yeah, sweet. It should have been a 3rd and 18. It should have been easier.
I saw you put up a video of something like the Steelers win despite the refs trying to. Yeah,
really should have been a 3rd and 18. And Minka was to me was a good. Bounced off his helmet a little bit, but it was a good tackle by Minka. It was great. I thought the Holcomb one on the other bloke, Devontae Adam, was worse in the air than that one.
I agree. Sean Manahan is even a question. It should be front runner for DPOY. And that's the thing, because Myles Garrett had no sacks, and then last week he had 3 or 3.5 sacks.
Yeah,
and
now
everyone's back on the freaking train, and I'm like, oh my god, like.
Well, they're talking about Micah Parsons too, as he's up there too.
I prefer Micah Parsons in that I watched him. I watched most of the Giants Cowboys games week 1 to start the season, because I had a heap of money and I had a heap of bets on that game. And like, I kid you not, I have never seen someone at like under 230 pounds take on the interior of an offensive line the way he did. I mean, he lined up out. There was a play where he lined outside the tackle, and within a split second was basically rushing between the guard and the center. Did like a double step, like a double, what you call it, like a juke in the NFL, a double juke through the line, putting that pressure on, and like managed to get Daniel Jones right. Like Daniel Jones managed to get the ball away right before the sack. But like, I was just like, that is just blitzing like crazy speed. But he's not held like TJ Watt is the majority of the plays. So, and like, that's the thing. Like, I mean, I've been saying this for 2.5 years, not all the whole time we've been doing podcasts together, but 2.5 years of, I'd love for someone to go back and look at all the plays where TJ Watt was held, but would have got the quarterback if he wasn't held, like just by time and distance and where everyone was. Because I think there are 5 to 10 sacks per year. And that, people can make the case that's a lot of plays. But I think particularly with TJ, there's a legitimately 5 sacks. You could add 5 sacks to his total every single year for stuff where he's blatantly held and he would have got to the quarterback.
Well, there are a few also. Remember the one we had with the Rodgers where he just laid down like a puppy dog? Like, put the 2-hand touch. So that was kind of a freebie. But
we also had the one though that like that the sack he should have had, to take the record. Like, I could never get.
I know the rule. Yeah, I know the rule, but it's because he was a runner. But still,
but he didn't. If you look on the play, it didn't.
I think because he fumbled the ball, he turned into a runner, and that's why it was. Then the NFL,
didn't go the distance required. Anyway.
Maybe Strahan called up then was like, "Hey man," because he's gonna break it this year. If he's on pace, to get 32 years.
Let's just touch wood. We can't afford him to get injured. I don't.
He's playing very good football. I saw an interview yesterday with him and I'm like, I'm not saying I'm gonna buy a Watt jersey. You asked me that question, who would I buy on the team? I probably would buy a Watt jersey, but like he is playing.
I told you I've invested in the authentic one this offseason. That was I got promoted at work, so that was my present to myself. I've got an authentic on-field TJ Watt.
Yeah, he is on fire. He's confident. I saw his interview, I think, with Pat McAfee or someone on ESPN the other day, or might have been Counter who it was. Someone who's on there. He's playing some good football. Is that our tight end?
That's from Brock Powers of Georgia.
Oh, I thought it was talking about Muth. I'm like, Muth hasn't got 8 catches. He's got 2, I think.
Well, Brock Powers got himself in the headlines this week when he talked about the whole Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce thing, which I
okay.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on with that? Even my neighbor knows about Swifty. Do you hear all this news about Swifty? Are you consumed by it?
I'm not consumed by it. I love my favorite was on watching social media where people were giving tips of like how to for all the people that started watching NFL just because of Kelce were like that like this is how the sport works. I'm like, okay, like
yeah. I think it's crazy, man.
If you're Travis Kelce, I don't understand why you're doing this.
I was going to say because she's attractive, but I don't think she's attractive. I don't.
Well, I think she's in love with herself. I've always thought that. But like, I don't get it when every man she dates, it always ends in a weird mess.
All right.
He's over 30 in the NFL, and there's also the whole Kardashian basketballer curse, which I know she's not a Kardashian, but like I don't think this is not a good idea. And if you're a Chiefs fan, imagine being a Chiefs fan. You've had to deal with Patrick Mahomes' not a wife.
Yeah.
How are you running Taylor Swift to the mix, right? And then you've got Patrick Mahomes' brother who's got all sorts of weird shit going on.
He's
like
TikTok everywhere.
You know what? I just think it's good for the Steelers.
I'm just glad. I don't know if Move is single or not, but I'm glad she didn't go Move's way because it would have been crazy for Steeler Nation. We would have been consumed by Swifty.
I don't think Moot's got too much up here.
It's a bit smarter than that.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's kind of crazy? Doesn't she like date every celebrity? That's what I don't understand. So you're like the 7th or 10th person after 30 or you know what I mean? Like after all these blokes are celebrities.
Like Calvin Harris and
Yeah,
she engaged to him. She's engaged to a couple of people.
I don't know, but you can legit like if you Kelce being now, he can go and Google all these guys and see their net worth and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't work in real life with exes. It doesn't work that way. You don't really talk about the ex.
But then I heard a podcast that said, I can't believe we're talking about this. I deliberately do not want to talk about this. But I had a podcast that talked about how he's not into the full relationship thing, and then she's in there with the mom in the
yeah, I know,
like third date. I don't know, like just chair devil.
I'd believe it. Hey, I'd believe it, man. It's amazing. I don't know.
I know exactly, Gavin. You're exactly right. You can't really fully cover this because it's like, no one knows what's going on.
Wish him all the best. Still pretty crazy though, man. She took over the NFL within like 3 days. It was nuts. It was insane. It's been a weird week. You went to Singapore and everything changed.
Into the multiverse.
Brad Wynn came back and now Taylor Swift's in the NFL. What the hell? Oh man.
Yeah. Let's get back to the Steelers. This is a good one to get in there. Yeah, Darwin. Good to see you too, mate. But he says I can see the Steelers being 4-1 going to bye, getting Howard and DJ back week 7. 100%.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be good.
But that, I mean, we've got to get through Houston. We've got to get through, Ravens as well. Darkstorm. I wouldn't fight her off. I don't. No, guy.
I'm not a fan of her.
Look at all her interviews. Look at all the songs. She's she's a narcissist.
Let me have a look at her. I haven't seen her in a while. Is she attractive?
You know what? At least she's back clearly eating healthy. She looks a lot better. But I think she's got a face like an alien.
Not a big fan. I'm more of a Kay Adams fan. She's changed too.
She's changed. Also, I don't know, maybe I've missed it, but I saw some of the songs that they've been playing when they do any of this coverage of Kelce, whatever, but they don't play Red. I've not seen anyone link Red, and that's
what's Red?
Red was the name of one of her albums.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. She's a smart business lady though. It's probably kicked off her career even more. I don't know.
Well, do you know the interesting side of the Steelers? She got mainstream when she sang the anthem in Heinz Field.
Really?
Yes.
And she's meant to be like a Philadelphia Eagle fan, right? I didn't get that part.
Oh my god! See, she picks her NFL teams like she does her men.
But like, I don't understand this. If you're a fan of a team, why are you wearing another jersey? I don't get that. I'd never do that.
Yeah, on September 24th, 2006, Taylor Swift performed. Yeah.
How do you know that? You are a Swiftie.
No, I saw I was looking for stadium photos when they changed the name to Acrisure, and it talked about like highlights at Heinz Field, and I think Steel fans would be furious to hear this, but that was considered a highlight. Yeah, she sang the national anthem on September 23, almost a year ago. Almost a year ago, almost to the date.
20 years ago?
17 years ago at a Steelers Cincinnati Bengals game.
There you go.
The first public show in the Pittsburgh market had come a night earlier at the Washington Wild Things Stadium in Washington, PA, where she warmed an audience for Lone Star.
Where else do you get coverage like Taylor Swift coverage than Steelers TDU? Nowhere else. It's good.
Darwin says CJ Stroud is a real deal, but the OL decimated. Yeah, exactly. I mean, their OL stood up a little bit last week. CJ Stroud is definitely all right, but as I was saying to Mark, I don't know if you were listening at that time, Darwin, like the 4 TDs, no interceptions is not too bad, especially for a rookie quarterback who doesn't want to make mistakes. But the 11 sacks, averaging like almost 4 a game, does not bode well against the Steelers pass rush. That's a big problem.
They have some injuries too, right? They got 2 blokes who are out. I think there's two blokes are out. So I'm excited, dude. I think our team is on defense. We're getting together. Sure, they're allowing a lot of runs, like 130 yards at average, but we did verse McCaffrey, we versed the Browns team as well. So things will start to even out, I think. And also, I don't really care. Like, I think if we get a win, go 3-1, and go versus the Ravens 3-1, and they could be. If the Ravens would lose this week, they could be 2-3. Sorry, 2-2, 2-2, I think.
Yeah, because they started.
The Browns are playing good defense too, as well. They're actually they're talking about the Browns now as well.
You're giving them a lot of credit, man.
They are though. Have you seen them? They're like top 5. They're like top 5 defense at the moment.
Well, I mean, the defense we saw. I mean, the Steelers said that was the most physical game, and it was a harder defense than the 49ers. Mm-hmm. So that tells you everything you need to know, really. Like, So, all right, I want to bring in a new segment that we're going to try.
Ooh, sweet.
All right.
Spin the wheel. Not spin the wheel.
Now I feel bad. I should just brought back spin the wheel. That makes me...
What is it?
So, we have the Steelers. I want to call it the box score bet, right? So I'm going to share with you now on the screen the Steelers box score from last week.
Right.
So I think you
sweet.
Can see it, right?
I'll zoom in.
That's right. I can make it bigger.
Oh, there you go.
How you going? Good work.
You do one more time?
One more time?
Yeah.
Celebrate. One more time. All right.
Oh, mate. Some of your best work.
I had a classic. Oh, yeah. Anyway, that's a story for off there. So I'm going to do mine, right? But if you had to make one bet and the betting company, we're going to just assume the betting company would allow you to make the bet as well. Not every betting company offers the same, types of bets you can make. But if you're going to make one bet on the offense and we'll do one on defense, based on the box score from last week, what it tells you, that's what we're going to try and do. So I'm going to go first. So my example bet is that I bet that Calvin Austin, for the second week in a row, will have more than 50 yards. And I'm going to parlay that into, because American betting loves that word. We don't use that word.
Yeah, we use multi.
We use multi. But I'm going to parlay that into another Pat Freiermuth red zone touchdown.
Has to be a red zone touchdown? Any touchdown?
No.
Okay, so how is Freiermuth going to run 80 yards anyway? So
unless he stiff arms a bloke and everyone else is like asleep.
Yeah, like the old.
Because it's play action. It could happen off a play action like that.
Yeah.
Would be rare.
I could see that. So you want Calvin Austin plus 50 yards.
And not all purpose. I'm talking receiving.
Okay.
Oh,
and then,
no. I'm gonna go from the line of scrimmage.
I hope you do this bet because we can actually do this in Australia too. Like this should be an option.
I can do that one. I don't think you can do red zone. I'd have to just do TD.
Do a TD.
Yeah. Man, I have to do that now because if I don't, what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen.
You have to. So Calvin Austin he'll be over under. He'll be over under probably I think 45. I'd say he'd be 42. So go the over. If I'm going to do that as well because I like that because I think Calvin Austin's going to get more involved in the offense because still DJ's out and I think it's time for this offense to step up again. I'm going to go. I think Jalen Warren gets some more touches. But 29 yards last week. I'm going to go 51 yards for Warren. Do you want me to multiply it with something else?
You can parlay it.
You know what I'm going to do? Kenny Pickett rushing touchdown.
Oh, I like that. Well. Now that would put up your odds significantly.
Yeah. So Warren 51 yards rushing or whatever it may be, 50 plus. And then Kenny Pickett. No, I'm going to write that down too, actually. I'll write it down somewhere. And then Kenny Pickett rushing touchdown. So he gets to a bootleg or something like that and runs it in.
All right. What about, let's go to the defense. I like this segment. I thought you'd like this segment. I'm glad you're on board.
So my inner better's coming out, which is bad, but good.
Inner punter.
Yes. Yep.
Man, 4 pass defenses from Levi Wallace. I just keep looking at that going.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
and he had two picks?
Wow. I think ESPN count a pick as a pass defense, but I might be wrong.
Oh, okay.
I usually go off Pro Football Reference stats, but anyway, this ESPN doesn't autoplay the ads, so it's easy for me to show on StreamYard, the platform we use to stream. So
we're all saying to Cam the guy last week, and then he played okay.
Hey, I had him last year as the hidden unsung hero of the defense, and here we go. He started slow last year as well. All right, I've got Cole Holcomb, and I don't think you can bet on this in Australia, but at least bet 3 tackles for a loss. I think Cole Holcomb is warming up, and I think after Cole with a bye, Cole Holcomb will be one of the best inside linebackers in the league. I think he is loving the Steelers defense. He's primed and ready to go. He's a machine.
And also the team's only warming up too, like being our fourth week going into it. So a lot of football to go. So you're just doing the single, not gonna double into anything else?
You want me to parlay that? All right, I'll parlay it into Benton with the over on half a sack.
Okay, next
so he'll get half a sack or more.
Right. Let's go a bit of a weird one. Let's go. You reckon they're going to play Desmond King yet or not? They're still going to go with Shannon Sullivan on the outside.
This is his old team.
True.
Remember.
You know what? You know what it is. I reckon JPJ.
This is a Joey Porter big game. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I reckon JPJ gets an interception. I think he gets one, and then let's.
And it will be a tip. I think it'll be a tip from Minka.
True. Can see that.
Yeah.
So that's not part of my parlay. You're trying to jump my parlay. get out of it, right?
Mate, sports bet.
You're gonna make mine $1 million. Like it's not gonna happen. Okay. So JPJ gets interception. I'm gonna go tackle wise. Let's go some crazy number. Let's go. Roberts has a massive game. No, not Roberts. I'm gonna go Quan Alexander. Quan Alexander has a massive game. Gets 9+ tackles.
Well, he had 7 last week.
He just. Well, then I'll go 12. I don't care. He's everywhere. He's gonna feel because I think he's got more of a role too, right? He's playing more of a role as well.
Yeah, so well, he had that quarterback hit last week as well. Like he could be. Yeah, I'm liking the inside pass rush from the Steelers. That's getting better. That's something I'm
so
really
much different than last year, isn't it?
Game. How many times did we complain about that last year, and then you see it this year? It's awesome.
Well, it's like you said with Cole Holcomb. He wants to be there. He's a Steeler. I think.
You see his arms, man. That guy's a freaking silverback gorilla.
He's big. So I'll go 9+ tackles of Quan Alexander. 11. or 10 plus or whatever, and into a JPJ, I think is getting. Oh, I like that. I like that.
That might be I love that, Darwin. That's also a sneaky trade. That's like the Steelers have traded him to an opponent, right? We play the Rams too, don't we? Yes, we do.
Yes,
week 9 or something. And we traded Dotson there. I love how the Steelers traded
offensive
linemen to opponents.
Has he even been playing over there? Has Dotson even been playing?
Yeah, I think he has. Let me check that.
Sean says 10 sacks overall. Fantastic. That'd be great.
10 sacks?
Oh, dude, imagine that game. And we'd still win by 1 point somehow. Still be 19 to 18.
Matt Canada. Hashtag Matt
Canada.
Also, can I actually... sorry, let's finish this part off. Then I want to go back to Matt Canada for a second. Go for it. I thought you were saying something about.
I was saying that Benton, I think, is gonna have a good game as well. I like the way how he does his wrestling skills, those moves. He's fantastic. I think I can see that.
Played for him, yeah. Dotson.
I forgot we even traded him away. I forgot about that. And Kendrick Green as well. He talked about that he's in a better place, but it's like, and Claypool's complaining. It's so good. The Steelers have done some good moves, man. They really have. Claypool's complaining out that way, said he's not being used correctly. You know, are they using correctly? They said no. So
I know. I would love the Steelers to blow out the Texans.
We need something.
But Mark and I have been saying for like the whole time we've been doing podcasts that the Steelers don't blow anyone out.
They don't. They never do.
They don't. They'll get up to 30 points and Tomlin will put the kibosh on it, right? Yeah. We'll see Mitch Trubisky and, you know, I don't know if Anthony McFarland's back from injury.
Well, the refs
bring the injury report quickly. We've got to do that. But I wanted to say, back to Matt Canada. The Steelers had one good week, and Matt Canada, it's like, oh, the offense is suddenly fixed. I'm like, nah, I need to see it for 3 or 4 weeks consistently. That's all. I just wanted to get that off my chest. So, all right, let's go back to the Steelers injury report. Now, this, because of the timing, this should be almost pretty final unless something's like changed. So, on the Steelers side of things, the only two, I'm not going to read off one by one because like through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because unless it's worth talking about. But Presley Harvin, obviously we know he's out. Brad Wing comes in to play there. Chooks is fine. Sorry, James Daniels is out of the game. So obviously for those that missed that one, that brings Nate Herbig into the team. Happy to be here, which
happy to be Herbig
wrote in the live chat. I'm definitely happy to be back with you all after my little different breaks. Connor Hayward, who didn't practice Wednesday, he full practice. He's fine. Did not practice from Darnell Washington on Thursday with a knee issue. Friday, he full practice. Interesting because he said his knees were fine and all that draft stuff was nothing. And then he's had knee troubles to start the season. It's kind of interesting. But anyway, he looks fine to go. The only one that did not practice on Thursday, no, everyone that's had limited or full practice is in. So that's pretty good. So team really should only be Harvin out, Harvin the third and Daniels. On the Houston Texans side of things, Josh Jones, their tackle, is out. He's not a bad tackle. Denzel Perryman is out. He was a big addition for them in the offseason to stop the run. This is good news if you are Najee Harris. There is no reason why Najee Harris and Jalen Warren can't have a big game with Perryman out. That's a big deal. Before they signed Holcomb, I was kind of hoping the Steelers maybe even bring Perryman in. Tavier Thomas, their cornerback, is out. Laramie Tunsil is out, obviously the elite tackle. They have questionable for Michael Dieter, their center, which means that they'd be running, I think, their third choice center if that guy's out, which is a big deal. And then otherwise, the guys on the injury report, Jonathan Greenard, Shaquille Griffin, the cornerback, the ex-Jag, Shaq Mason, a top quality guard, and Jalen Petrie, safety who's played pretty well since entering the league last year. They were all limited on Wednesday, full practice Thursday, full practice Friday. Expect them to play. So, yeah, much bigger deal for the Texans with potentially 3 starting quality offensive linemen out. That's a big deal. But to me, after Tunsil, the biggest deal is Perryman out. The Steelers have to take advantage of no Denzel Perryman there.
Correct.
Daredevil. Claypool isn't being used to his full potential.
He is still one of the worst receivers ever in my life. Cut him Bears. You know they've never won a game yet since the trade. They're 0-13 since he went over there. And now it's like Denver versus
They
Bears.
can't cut him though, because if they have too many injuries, it can't be, well, you traded for Claypool and then you cut him. Like that, they have to.
We got a second round pick with JPJ for that. Like, that's crazy.
And then they realized it wasn't working, so they had to go trade to get DJ Moore. Like,
yeah. But honestly, like he went over there and they've lost 13 games. The Bears
I want to know. My thing, Tremaine Edmonds looked average last week for them, but I don't think they're using him right. When's Tremaine Edmonds going to go, I want out? Like, he's too good a player to. I know they're paying him a shite ton, but that's way too much.
It's kind of like, you know what I saw.
This is news.
Sorry.
What's that? Sorry. Chandler Jones released by the Cards. That's interesting because they said there were off-season issues.
He's in big trouble.
And contract. Yeah, I haven't seen this one, but I have not. It seemed a bit odd when they were talking about it on the in the commentary last week. So I haven't seen what he's been arrested for.
1 year he got four sacks or 5 sacks in a game. Something like that. Yeah. But he got. I think he did something really bad. I can't remember either. To be honest, I agree, Gavin. The Bears, it's a dumpster fire. Like, we think we have it bad here. It is bad over there.
We don't have it bad. Steel fans just like complaining. I like complaining too. I mean, I'm with them. I'm not like having a crack. Like, I like complaining as well. But
I agree with Darwin too, man. Harvin's played really well. He's played really well. Good football. Good punting skills. Booting that ball right away. And now he pulled his groin, so hopefully he comes back. Because we don't want to see Brad Wing. It's going good.
Yeah, 100% Darwin. 100%. So if Brad Wing has a big game, we mean Presley. It might be because Darwin might have said that because I sometimes call him Percy Harvin.
Oh, he was the guy for the Vikings, right?
Yeah, and didn't he play for Seattle as well?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, the punt returner. Yeah, yeah, that guy. There's so many names out there. Can't keep up.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
but no, we're not keeping Brad Wing if he stays. Like, if he punts better. No, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
You Barry or Wing? You got to pick.
I don't know. Why you going to choose? Like, why? I can't choose. I just they're both average. None. Can I choose none? Just don't punt.
They're not average. They're better than some punters.
I thought, look, I don't like it because if we go to the Super Bowl, then every Australian bit of media will talk about the punter. And I don't like that. Talk about the Steelers. You losers.
I know.
That's what annoys me. Like, who cares about the punter? Not Presley. He's playing well. But
Alex, it's not. That's what I was saying earlier. I think this could be a fairly high scoring game, but I don't think this will be within 10 points. And most likely,
are we doing score predictions today? I can't remember what I did for the other. I don't know what I said.
Yeah, let's close out with the score prediction. What do you got?
All right. I'm trying to think back to my video I did. I have no idea what I said. So let's go again.
I like this, Jed. That's a contract. That's a contract.
I know, what the hell? He sounds like he's like American. Well, he's been living there since 19. God, we talked about Brad Wing and Taylor Swift way too long. All right. So Steelers win this game. Oh, I wish it was a blowout and we just carve them up and just, you know what I'm saying, like 41-10, but it won't happen. Steelers win this game 27-23, something like that. It's going to be hard.
Yeah, I was thinking like 30-24 or something, but I think I'm going to scale that back to like, what's 3 TDs?
Chris Boswell's
I'm going to go
really well.
28.
So 4 TDs.
28-23. I'm going to go and we get to 28 via a 2-point conversion.
Ooh, right. Yeah, we just don't. The team hasn't got it yet to do like to be a Chiefs.
Funny when the Steelers go out and win 17-7.
Sean's got 40-13. We haven't seen like that. This is not going to happen. It never happens.
I'd rather sit here that if I could be wrong about anything, I'd rather sit here and say the Steelers won't score more than 20 points and then they go out and score 40 points.
True. So if we say,
you know what I mean? Like you got everyone can predict 40. I'm happy to be wrong on it. I would love to be wrong on.
So what if we say Steelers win 13-7? The next minute's like 45-8.
Yep. Let's 10 or whatever. Let's play the reverse psychology.
Actually, I don't mind those games though. Or besides the Super Bowl with the Rams and Patriots was a really crap game. But the defense games are fun to watch like that, 13-7. I like those games.
Well, it's like that game that you and I both were watching like fully through it, the Dolphins-Ravens game.
That was fun, dude. That was so much fun. I love seeing that the Dolphins tear them apart like that. They blitzed like I think 60% of the time or 7% of the time.
And they should never have won that game either. Like it was wild. Like the game they were meant to get thrashed in because of the offense.
What do they call it? They send eight players. Zero blitz. Like
zero.
Yeah, it was unbelievable, dude. And that was Flores, right? And then we got rid of him.
Like why did we get rid of him? He went from being, he got hired as the DC for the Vikings.
Oh, I like what Brian says here too. But actually, 34-13. I like that. That's find their identity. Where is it? Find their mojo. Bring it back. Yeah, I like that. We just need something. And like, I won't be streaming tomorrow on my channel Still Odds. But
actually, that's a good point. That's a really good point. That's a really good point, Sean, with the 40 points. Yeah, that's true.
TJ Watt gets one. Minka.
Yeah, let's do this over and under for both teams. 3 and outs.
For both teams?
Well, over and under for the game. So you think about both teams. Like how many changes of possession? I might have to pull up. Let's see on Pro Football Reference what the average is.
Well, Matt Canada's playing. So, like, we know it's going to start slow. It always starts slow.
Oh, yeah. This first quarter is going to be rubbish football. That's why, as like an international fan, it's very hard not to just sleep in a bit and then, skip through.
Fast forward.
Yeah, because you can... you still watch the game, but skip through all the ads and stuff. Let it catch up. That's what I do a lot of the time because, like, the first quarter, I want to watch that with a bit of momentum. I give myself my own momentum by skipping the ads and stuff.
Sean's got 9 3 and outs.
In the game, only 9.
Yeah. Well, so you mean you're talking like dead set, like 1, 2, 3 draw plays out. You're going off punt. So how many punts? Who's their punter for the Texans? They're going to start punting too. Oh man, if Bradwin can't punt, it's either going to be Twitter's going to hate him or like Twitter's going to love him because he's going to be a massive punter again. I'm going to go. I don't know. I have no idea what the average is. So, but Matt Canada's going to supply a few.
So punts. The Steelers have had 19 punts. Okay, in through 3 games. So they're averaging 6, right? So I'll go to the Texans.
Well, they're not all 3 and
that's not counting a field goal, though. All right, so hang on. The Steelers got 19 punts, and Boswell has 5 field goals. 5 field goals? 6 field goals from 7. So 7 plus 19 is 26. Divide that by 3. So averaging, let's say 9. There's like 9. It's just somewhere like 9 3 and outs per game. And then there should be a better way to do this, but I'm just, I'll figure that out for next week. So Steelers averaging 9, and they're averaging, they've got 9, and they've got punts 11, 20 divided by 3, so they got 7. So they're 16. It's basically over and under 16 3 and outs in the game.
Under. I want to see some
under.
Football. Yeah.
I reckon there'll be 18.
But 3 and outs, are you just doing like 3 plays and out? Like, I'm not you're confusing me. That means no one's moving the ball at all. That'd be awful.
Well, one team is getting obliterated.
That'd be terrible football to watch. Unless it's really good defense.
Fine. It doesn't matter. I'm just asking what you think happened.
I said under the 18. I don't think it'd be that much. I think
under 16. Under 16. Going under 16.
So, I guess because what it's late. 22? There's about 12 drives per team. That's 24. So I'd probably go under. You'd hope so, but I don't know. Sean wants 40 points. Canada still sucks though. Fair enough. Hey, I reckon it's gonna be a good game, man. I think it's gonna be a good game. I think we can win this game. Just got to play defense. Got to run the ball. They got to do all the things we've been talking about.
There'll be I'll tell you that joke off air, actually.
Nah, is it rude, is it? Jeez.
Yeah. But anyway, any last minute tidbits for the fans out there before we close out the show?
What I'm realizing is the season's going too quick, so just enjoy it. Enjoy every day.
It is going very quick.
Going too fast. And once we get to the draft, it's like, oh my goodness, it goes for 6 months. But enjoy every week that we have Steelers football. And I know that we're 2-1, and if we're waiting for the offense to do something. But if we always look forward to the next week, we're never going to enjoy the actual game. And look, if we win ugly, we win ugly. We go 3-1, that's it. And the whole goal is to win the games and go to the playoffs and then win the Super Bowl. That's the goal. Doesn't matter how you win, get the win. And I know we want to see better stuff, but we're still saying this stuff by week 10, and they're like 7-3 or something. We're like, well, we still do this. We're still winning. So I just say enjoy the game. The game should be fun. I want to see some sacks from TJ Watt. I want to see him have a tremendous career, get to 100 and break the record. And then, because Pat McAfee is going to pay a $500,000 to a charity. Yeah, so that'd be awesome too. I think TJ Watt is on fire. I think the defense, like you said, Holcomb, Minka's in. These guys are in. Cameron Hayward comes back very soon, or a few weeks' time. They're all buying into what they're selling. Just going to stop the run though. They're averaging like 140 yards per game. But they did verse Nick Chubb. They versed he was on fire before he got injured, and they versed McCaffrey too. And the 49ers game too looks all right now, doesn't it? Because they're like the best team in the NFL. And we won't see them until the Super Bowl if we get that far.
Yeah, so exactly.
That looks like the hardest team in the NFL right now. They're playing really good football. Can't stop them. They're averaging 30 points per game. Before I end though, did we talk about the Dolphins game? That was nuts. 70 points.
Yeah.
At least we're not the Broncos, right? That was crazy.
Madden score, man.
70-20. They could have got the most points in NFL history is 73, and they didn't do it. So I just think, the whole NFL is nuts, dude. And then what else happened to? Colts beat the Ravens, and the Cardinals beat the Cowboys. I
know. I was shocked when the Cardinals won that game. I was like, the heck?
Yeah.
But Alex, I think there'll be more than 2 defensive turnovers. That's what I'm going to call.
True.
And with that, this is going to wrap up this week's Steelers Touching Under Boys show. We have a lot more coming, so Mark and I will do a post-game tomorrow, and I will have a rookie report out for you guys in the morning as like a final preview for the game. So check out the rookie report. And Mark is seeing the private chat that I sent him with my very rude joke.
Go Steelers. Go Canada.